Broadcasting from 88.3 WXUT Studio, this is your Saturday morning weekly news update. It is 7:45 in the morning, and today is April 2nd. It is expected to be cloudy today with a high of 49 and a low of 36 degrees, with a chance of rain starting around 5 p.m. These stories were researched and reported by student journalists at UT 10 News. I'm Matthew Revilla, let's begin. It's now the 6th week of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. There are reports of Russia taking steps to de-escalate the conflict. However, heavy fighting continues outside of major Ukrainian cities. With over 4 million refugees having fled Ukraine, this war has left many families in need of aid, such as food and shelter. With more, we have Trent Carosi.
Since 2015, U Toledo's CLAR Leadership Academy has organized annual meal packing events to assist families in need. And while it took a break last year, CLAR's co-director, Dr. Robert Yonker, is happy to be back.
We didn't do it last year because of COVID, unfortunately, but we're really excited this year we're going to be able to do it even without masks.
While it goes to help many countries like Haiti, the need in Ukraine right now is urgent, prompting many in the community to help at the Health Education Building.
We're doing this, it's going to feed about 450 children for a year. We are going to have 800 volunteers coming into campus. We have 5 packing sessions.
And before the event even begun here at the Health Education Building, results exceeded expectations.
Fortunately, we have all 5 packing sessions full. Not only the campus community, but the Toledo community has come out and really showed up, and we appreciate them and we thank them.
During the packing sessions, volunteers will split up into groups where they will assemble nutritious rice meals with vegetable blends, proteins, vitamins, and minerals. And according to the Feed My Starving Children program, these meals are scientifically formulated for the undernourished children and are funded by the donations. Although the packing sessions are full, there are still other ways to help this weekend.
Bowling Green could use your help. So, believe it or not, we can help out our rival.
And if you cannot volunteer in person, you can still donate to Toledo's goal of $40,000.
We're about 3,000 short of our goal. So, with teamwork, we can get there. So, $1, $3, $2,500, whatever you want to do, that is much appreciated.
The event at U Toledo takes place today and tomorrow at the main campus's Health Education Building. If you would like to help, you can visit the Feed My Starving Children's website. A link can be found on ut10news.com. In local politics, the Ohio Redistricting Commission is once again being threatened with contempt of court charges over redistricting. We have more from Trent.
The Ohio Supreme Court gave the commission until Monday, April 4th, to explain why they should not be held in contempt for violating the court's orders to draw new fair Ohio General Assembly district maps. The Associated Press reports earlier this week the commission tweaked unconstitutional versions of their own maps favoring Republicans instead of choosing new maps drawn by independent consultants. The map mayhem may impact when you can vote. The AP reports that the feds are asking Ohio election officials if the state's May 3rd primary should be delayed. Democrats want to delay the primary to give time to rewrite maps in a way that could be used this year as control of Congress hinges on just a few seats. Republicans want to keep the May 3rd date, but that would delay the election for some legislative districts whose lines are still undetermined.
There's not much time left to finish drawing the maps, as April 5th is when early voting is supposed to begin. Moving on to sad news from Florida, we continue with more from Trent.
Family members of 14-year-old Tyree Sampson are continuing to search for answers after the teen fell to his death on the drop tower ride at Florida's Icon Park. The family has now called for a legal team and the ride to be shut down permanently. Currently, the Sheriff's Office and the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services are investigating the incident with no criminal charges filed yet.
Theme parks might not be the only thing putting your safety in jeopardy, as an estimated 37 million people in the U.S. have chronic kidney disease, with 9 in 10 people not even knowing they have it. Even for those who know, a kidney shortage is a constant public health crisis, with more than 90,000 patients on a waiting list, with almost 5,000 dying without getting a transplant. As March is Kidney Awareness Month, we have Samantha Rojas with more.
Lydia Marino was always close to her mother. Finding out the news about her mother shattered her. She knew she had to help in a life-saving way.
When she went to the doctor, when they explained, she had kidney failure and everything, and my mom, I felt bad for her.
Lydia felt hopeless and knew something had to be done to help her mother, Linda.
Yeah, I mean, I felt bad for her. I didn't want her to die, because I mean, she had both of her kidneys were bad. So one of them they took out, and then they left her with one, and the one she had, because you only need obviously one kidney to function. So the one she had wasn't any good, so that's why she had to get dialysis.
Which was filling up her schedule. Linda had to go to dialysis 3 times a week, 4 hours a day, which was making her really weak.
I matched 2 or 3. So then they knew that it was okay, so I had to get further testing just to make sure I was healthy.
Lydia passed the test she needed to be a donor for her mother and was ready to start the process right away.
So I told my mom, you're going to do this, we need to do it now.
This is how Linda felt during this whole process.
I don't know, I was just really scared. I felt really bad because I didn't want to take a kidney from her.
11 years later, this is how Linda feels.
Oh, it's wonderful that I don't have to do dialysis anymore.
8 years later, Linda and Lydia are vacationing in Texas for a week on the beach, enjoying the sun and their healthy lives. If you want to know more about kidney donation, you can find more on UT10news.com. Another serious issue across the nation is food insecurity. While the pandemic has made the problem worse, a local organization is trying to provide a solution. UT10 reporter Tiara Medley has more.
Cosetta McVeigh started her personal garden 4 years ago, and she grows herbs, fruits, and vegetables. She started growing her own food because
the cost of food is so much, and just it's healthier.
She donates much of what she grows to local organizations, and she gives some to her neighbors.
I have elderly neighbors, so I take them foods, I share with my family.
She even offers one-on-one gardening classes to teach people how to grow their own food. Grace Community Center has partnered with Central State University to teach people how to garden as well. They started the garden because of the prevalence of food deserts.
Food deserts are areas that don't have many grocery stores or markets to provide people with fresh and healthy foods. You'll see a lot of corner stores that provide people with most of their food. You'll also see many fast food options that provide little to no healthy food.
We're dealing with a high poverty rate of probably about 40% of the residents in the zip codes that we serve.
The pandemic largely impacted poverty rates. Grace Community Center went from serving 250 households to over 2,500. They also expanded the areas they serve. They went from serving 4 zip codes to 17 as a result of the pandemic. Elaine Page, the executive director of Grace Community Center, not only wants to help improve the health of communities, but also rejuvenate them.
This is sort of a catalyst for neighborhood revitalization, and couple that with health, couple that with the ability to learn a skill set.
McVeigh says it's cheaper and healthier to grow food on your own. Gardening classes start at Grace Community Center April 4th. More information can be found at UT10news.com. And now we move on to sports, where we will hear from Caleb Gill about a softball game on March 25th between Toledo and Buffalo.
Coming out the gates in the first inning, the Bulls' Alexis Lucian hit a 3-run homer, putting the away team up 3-0 early. Not long after, Olivia Kincannon was able to help Buffalo put 3 more on the scoreboard, extending the Bulls' lead 6-0 at the end of the first inning. Buffalo would score 5 more runs in the game before Toledo even got on the scoreboard, with Dana Denner hitting a 2-run RBI in the third, which would bring the score now 11-2. Buffalo hit 2 more runs in the fourth, which would be enough to put the 5-inning run rule into effect, Buffalo beating Toledo by a final score of 13-3 in 5 innings.
The two teams were supposed to play a doubleheader on March 26, but it was canceled due to weather. The women's Rocket basketball team won on March 24th in Marquette, meaning they will advance to the next round in the WNIT. With how the match went, we again have Caleb Gill.
Before you knew it, there were 8 teams left when the Rockets hosted Tennessee State Blue Raiders this past Monday in the quarterfinals of the WNIT tournament. Quenisha Lockett put the Rockets on the scoreboard first, starting the game with back-to-back buckets. With this drive in the paint right there for Lockett. But then, the Blue Raiders went off, scoring 15 unanswered points, allowing the visitors to take a 20-13 lead in the second quarter. UT was able to regain momentum in the second, scoring 9 straight points. The remainder of the quarter would have both teams trading buckets. However, a jumper from Nan Garcia allowed the Rockets to take a 31-29 lead into the half. The entire second half will be hotly contested, with neither side really able to get much separation, with the largest lead for either team the 6-point lead in the Rockets' favor in the third quarter. In the final minute of regulation, Jada Jensen was able to get a steal that turned into a 3-point play that gave the Rockets a 61-60 lead with 50 seconds left. But Blue Raider Jalen Gregory knocked down 2 free throws, tying the game up at 62. Garcia had an opportunity to win it in the final seconds, but missed a layup, which would ultimately send the game into overtime. The first 90 seconds of overtime would have neither team really able to score, but MTSU's Kanisha Malashka broke the ice and scored the first points in OT. A big shot from beyond the arc from Sammy McConowitz helped to tie the game up at 69 apiece, with a little over a minute and a half left. Both teams would trade a few more scores in the final minute, and the Rockets had a chance to take one last shot. Garcia drove the paint for the layup, but again would miss the potential game-winning score. This time, though, it allowed Middle Tennessee to outlast the Rockets, an exciting game with a final score of 73-71, ending Toledo's season. The Rockets finished the year 29-6, tying the team record for wins in the season. They also won 19 MAC games, which was not just a school record, it was also a MAC record.
And that's it for this week, and thank you for joining us today. For more news, make sure to tune in every Saturday at 7:45 a.m. And you can catch UT 10 live every Thursday at noon. For 88.3 FM WXUT, I am Matthew Revilla. Have a great day, everyone.